Hi guys, I am back today with another video on a palette that looks kind of similar to the last one I did, but I didn't realize that it was not like a planned thing or anything, but this one had just released and I really wanted to pick it up. Shock of all shocks, which obviously I have like a color story that I am sincerely drawn to. It's rusts, it's greens, if you put a yellow in there, I'm pretty much like in heaven. So in any case, I actually picked up the Dose of Colors, the cutting edge little 5-pan palette that they just released. They actually put out two, but the other one wasn't really of interest to me, so I just got this one. The packaging is like that soft touch kind of feel. So far, I haven't really gotten a lot of fingerprints on it, so I dig that, because normally the soft touch ones kind of get fingerprinting fast, but it could just be the joy of the color of the palette itself. So the inside looks like this, and you do get a double-sided brush. I used this end, but I didn't use the other one because I'm kind of weird about my blending brushes. But these colors, as you can see, are really pretty to me. And so I'm super excited to swatch them for you guys, because you'll just have to watch and see what my thoughts are at the end. I really think that for the price, this is worth it. This is kind of like the travel version of the 420 palette or the Killer Purr palette, but with good shimmers, because neither one of those had shimmers that I was crazy about, to be honest. So, boom shakalaka, this has great shimmers, and you want that, at least if you're anything like me, you want like your eyes to pop, and that's what this does for you. So I'm going to swatch these for you guys right now. The very first shade is kind of a mustardy green khaki color, and the color is called Cameo. And I can tell you these all worked really, really well on the eye area themselves. The next color is called Rule Breaker. And it reminds me color-wise of a shade in the Colored Rain Safari Rain palette. Not the way the actual shimmer or the metallic actually goes, but in the pan it looks just like one of the colors. So there's that. Very, very metallic, as you can see, much, much better than the shimmer you would find in the 420 palette or in the Killer Purr palette, or in the Killer Purr palette, at least with my experience. The next color is called Sundown, and this reminds me very much of some of the colors that are in Sassy Siennas, so, which is another Dose of Colors palette. But this is like an orange rust color, almost with a little hint of pink now that I'm looking at it, though. Like a soft pink undertone. There's that. The next shade is Top It Off, which I really, really like. These metallics in here are fantastic. I'm really happy with them. But that's kind of like a gray-green with gold glitters inside of it. Like an antique green gray with gold glitters. It's still very metallic. Hopefully you guys can see that. Really pretty. The last color in the palette is called Edgy, and it is like an army green. And for me, it worked really, really nicely on the eye. It is beautiful. It also kind of reminds me of a shade that is in one of their other 5-pan palettes, but more green. So, those were the swatches. I can't wait to mix some of my other Dose of Colors palettes with these to see what I can get out of it. I really love the metallics, and I think that they're going to play really nice with some of the other palettes that I have from them. This would be so easy for travel, and I think that pretty much if you like those colors, you're going to be really, really happy with this palette. So maybe if you don't want to splurge on it right now, because it's not super cheap, it's not the most expensive, but for 5 pans, it is not super cheap in my mind. But maybe wait until they have another sale, or they do run a coupon. I think it's going on right now. If you sign up for their emails or whatever, you get like 20% off. So maybe utilize that in a cashback app, and then boom, it's worth it. You know, they do have that kind of stuff out there. I thoroughly suggest checking them out. I also have actual pictures of these swatches up on my Instagram, so make sure you check that out. And I did actually pick up a liquid lipstick while I was there so I could get free shipping. I got Catching Feelings, which is what I'm wearing today. It is very matte. It is a lot different than I thought it was going to be, but I still really like it. In fact, Dose of Colors has probably my favorite liquid lipstick well, one of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas. So if you guys want to see swatches of all of the ones that I have, let me know, because I have probably like, I don't know, between those, the lipsticks and the glosses, I probably have 30 or so. That's ridiculous. But if you do want to see it, let me know and I'll be happy to swatch them for you guys. Anyway, if you guys want to see how I got these looks, just keep watching. Okay, I'm back. I have my eyeliner on, I have my mascara on, and I've got to say, I think I have a type. I'm starting to realize that every palette that I get is very, very, very similar, because this again kind of reminds me of the, not just the Melt 420 palette, but also the Menagerie Killer Purr palette. And just in general, I kind of really love rusty tones, like the rusty oranges, the olive greens. I am clearly very enamored with those shades. What's up with the hands? I don't know. But I've got to say that these performed really, really well. My piece of advice would be this, and every eyeshadow is different. Every company is different, so, you know, it changes from day to day. But with this specifically, I would say set your base first if you do put down an eye primer, and then the matte shadows will be much, much easier to work with because Dose of Colors actually has some of the easiest to work with mattes that I've ever used. But I had just put down my eye primer, so I felt like it was almost too sticky and it was kind of getting patchy. But it wasn't the shadows, it was just my eye primer. And I know that because most of the time I wait a lot longer between putting on my eye primer and putting on actual eyeshadow. So that's just my thoughts there. But as far as the shades go, they are so lovely. They play well together. I really am glad I picked this up, to be honest. This would be like the easy version of, you know, the 420 palette, except for with good shimmers, to take with me anywhere I might need to go. So I really love this shade right here, and then this one right here is really cool. It's like an orangey gold, but it almost has a little bit of green to it too, so it like, you can't see it in the pan, but I feel like it's there, and it really pulls. You know, if you'd rather use that color with just the greens, you can definitely do that. Or like what I did when I did my eyeshadows was this eye, I tried to do all greens. And then this eye, I kind of made a mistake. I started off with greens on this side and I was like, wait, I didn't want to do that. So I kind of brushed out the green that I had used. I tried to keep it to mostly these three, though I did use a dab of this in the outer V. But then I covered it again with more of this, so I just tried to make it look like a deeper version of this. So hopefully that makes sense. You'll definitely see the video, but I did a really bad job of applying. I kind of flipped around all my eyes back and forth, so hopefully I can edit it so it doesn't look like such a cluster mess, because that's how I feel like it was going while I was doing it. But I've got to say, performance-wise, I think this is a really great deal, and you know, this is something easy you can keep with you and you can create a gorgeous, gorgeous look out of it. So I definitely think that if you have not tried Dose of Color, maybe because you thought that the other palettes that they had were too matte and you wanted a shimmer to go along with it, this is your chance. There's another one. I didn't pick up that one because the color story really wasn't something that interested me, but I can say for sure that the Cutting Edge one, gorgeous, beautiful, worked great. I can't wait to actually not have two different eyes and go out and do something with it because I really like it. The shimmers in here are fantastic, especially like I think if you would wet them, which I never try to wet anything I do on camera when I'm testing them out because I want you guys to see how it works dry and to know how the performance is actually going to be. But I think if you wetted these would be like out of this world, not even like in the same galaxy. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe, and ring the bell for future updates, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!